The Constitution of India, Preamble. We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact and give to ourselves this Constitution.
Hi students, hope all have enjoyed vacation well. How are you all? Fine, isn't it? Try to be happy and healthy always. Some of you have sent your notes. Students who want to send their notes have to send it before Friday. Okay? And in the last class, we have discussed on the mechanism of vision, isn't it? How do we see the object? I'll tell you once more. Light from a light source will fall on object. When the object will reflect the light back to our eyes, at that time we can see the object. That means the reflected ray from the object make the vision possible. Okay. Based on this topic, I'll give you some more exercise. Okay. It is there in the page number 25. I'll read the question and you have to find out the answer of these two questions as homework. Okay. The first question is, how does the driver see the boy crossing the road during daytime? I'll repeat once more. How does the driver see the boy crossing the road during daytime? And the second question is, how is the dog seen when torch is lighted? Okay, I'll read it once more. Second question is, how is the dog seen when torch is lighted? And try to find out the answer of these two questions and send it to me. Okay. Today we are going to discuss a new topic. Before that, can you look at the image which is given on the screen? Yes. What did you see there? Yes, you can see a child. She is trying to direct the torchlight towards a mirror, isn't it? And what is happening to that light? Yes, the light is reflecting. That means the mirror is trying to reflect the light to outside, isn't it? The light which is falling on the mirror is reflecting back to the opposite side. Now, can I ask one question? The child is trying to focus that light towards the mirror, isn't it? And the mirror is reflecting the light to opposite direction. അങ്ങനെയാണെങ്കിൽ ഇവിടെ ആ കുട്ടി ഒരേ ഡയറക്ഷനിലേക്കാണ് ലൈറ്റ് കൊടുക്കുന്നത് അല്ലേ? അതായത് ടോർച്ച് ലൈറ്റിനെ ഒരേ ഡയറക്ഷനിലേക്ക് കണ്ടിന്യൂസ് കൊടുത്തുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുകയാണ്. ഈ ടോർച്ച് ലൈറ്റിൻ്റെ ഡയറക്ഷൻ മാറ്റുകയാണെങ്കിൽ റിഫ്ലക്റ്റഡ് ലൈറ്റിന് എന്തെങ്കിലും മാറ്റം വരുമോ? യെസ്. മീൻസ് എപ്പോഴാണ് കുട്ടി ടോർച്ച് ലൈറ്റിൻ്റെ ഡയറക്ഷൻ മാറ്റുന്നത്, അതിനൊപ്പം തന്നെ റിഫ്ലക്റ്റഡ് ലൈറ്റിൻ്റെ ഡയറക്ഷനും മാറി വരും. ഓക്കെ, അതായത് ടോർച്ചിൽ നിന്ന് വരുന്ന ലൈറ്റിൻ്റെ ഡയറക്ഷൻ മാറുന്നതിനനുസരിച്ചിട്ട് reflected light in the direction mari varum. Understood? So this is the thing that is going to happen in that area. Okay, if she is trying to change the direction of the incident ray, then the direction of the reflected ray will also be changed. Okay, this is the thing which is going to happen. Now you can draw this image in another way. Here I am going to represent this image in a diagrammatic way. Okay, in the form of, when we will represent the picture in a diagrammatic way, we should mention the surface in which the light is falling first. Okay, so this is the surface, that is, this is the plane mirror. In this mirror we are going to focus the light. Okay, so this is the reflecting surface, isn't it? Reflecting surface of the plane mirror, and this is the unwanted surface. That means this is a rough surface. This is not, there is no need of this surface. These lines are indicating that this surface is not required, not involving in the reflection process. Okay, so you might have understood what I am saying, isn't it? Here these smaller lines indicate that this surface is not involving in reflection, and the surface which is involving in reflection will always be smooth. Here this surface is involving in reflection, so this we have to mention in a smooth manner. Okay, we are going to directing the torchlight towards the mirror, what will happen? Just no need to mention all the rays together, we can mention just only one ray. Okay, so this is the only one ray which is falling in the mirror, isn't it? So here a single ray is falling on the mirror. What will happen normally? Yes, it will reflect back, isn't it? So we can draw like this. The reflector ray can be drawn like this. Okay, so this is a ray which is falling on the mirror, and this is the ray which is reflecting back to the outer surface. Okay, this ray can be, this you have to mention in this ray. Okay, if a ray that is falling into the mirror, we can call that ray as incident ray. Any ray which is coming from the light source is known as incident ray. Okay, here this is what? Incident ray. Okay, can I mention like this? Incident ray. And the ray which is reflecting back to the surface is known as what? Reflected ray. So which is the reflected ray? This is the reflected ray. Okay, this is the reflected ray. Here you can mention this is the reflected ray. I'll tell you once more, the ray which is falling on the surface is known as what? Incident ray. Isn't it? And the ray which is coming after reflection is known as what? Reflected ray. Okay, this is the reflected ray. Here you can see a point, isn't it? We can call this point as point of incidence. So what is meant by point of incidence? Point of incidence is the point at which the light falling on the surface. Okay, so this is the point of incidence. Okay, we can call this as the point of incidence. Then we can point of incidence. And again, when we will draw a perpendicular from the point of incidence, this is the perpendicular which I am going to draw from the. So when we will draw a perpendicular from the point of incidence, you will get an angle, isn't it? You will get an angle in between the perpendicular and the incident ray. We can call this angle as angle of incidence. This is known as what? Angle of incidence. Okay, angle of incidence. And here we can see another angle, isn't it? That angle is known as angle of here it is angle of reflection. Okay, did you see this, children? So what is this? This is angle of incidence and this one is angle of reflection. So what is angle of reflection? Angle of reflection is the angle which is formed in between the reflected ray and the perpendicular. Here there is a relation between this angle of incidence and angle of reflection. ഞാൻ നിങ്ങളോട് നേരത്തെ പറഞ്ഞു ഇൻസിഡന്റ് റേയുടെ ഡയറക്ഷൻ മാറുന്നതിനനുസരിച്ച് റിഫ്ലക്റ്റഡ് റേയുടെ ഡയറക്ഷനും മാറും അല്ലേ? അതുകൊണ്ട് തന്നെ നമുക്കൊരു കാര്യം പറയാം, there will be a relation between the angle of incident and the angle of reflection. What would be the relation? The angle of incidence will always be equal to the angle of reflection. For example, if the angle of incidence is x degree, then the angle of reflection will also be x degree. Okay, here it will also be x degree. So if the angle of incidence is 40 degree, can I write it here? Okay, if the angle of incidence is 40 degree, what will be the angle of reflection? It will also be 40 degree. Isn't it? That is the rule that we can generally see in the process of reflection. അപ്പോൾ ശരിക്കും reflection ഈ rule follow ചെയ്ത് തന്നെയാണ് reflection process നടക്കുന്നത്. Now, can I ask you a question? If the angle of incidence is 45 degree, what will be the angle of reflection? It will also be 45 degree, isn't it? So if you know the angle of incidence, you can predict what will be the angle of reflection. Okay, what is the relation between angle of incidence and angle of reflection? Yes, angle of incidence will always be angle of reflection. Keep this in your mind and try to find out answer by keeping this fact in your mind. Most of the girls like to spend their time in front of the mirror for a long time to evaluate themselves, isn't it? Yes. When you stand in front of the mirror, at that time you would have noticed one thing, that your right side can be seen as the left side of the image, isn't it? And similarly, your left side can be seen as the right side of the image. So such a shift of lateral side of the image in opposite direction is known as lateral inversion. So here we are going to study the peculiarities of images that is formed in a plane mirror. Okay, we are going to study the peculiarities of images formed in a plane mirror. So ഞാൻ ഇപ്പോൾ നിങ്ങളോട് പറഞ്ഞത് പ്ലെയിൻ മിററിൽ നിങ്ങൾ കാണുന്ന ഇമേജിൽ എപ്പോഴും നിങ്ങളുടെ റൈറ്റ് സൈഡ് ഇമേജിൻ്റെ ലെഫ്റ്റ് സൈഡായിട്ടും നിങ്ങളുടെ ലെഫ്റ്റ് സൈഡ് ഇമേജിൻ്റെ റൈറ്റ് സൈഡായിട്ടും നിങ്ങൾ കാണുന്നതാണ് അല്ലേ. അപ്പോൾ ഇഫ് യു ക്യാൻ സീ ഇൻ സച്ച് എ മാനർ വി ക്യാൻ സേ ദാറ്റ് മിറർ ഈസ് കേപ്പബിൾ ഓഫ് ഷോയിങ് lateral inversion, and such a phenomenon is known as lateral inversion. So what is meant by lateral inversion? Lateral inversion is the shift of lateral side of the image to the opposite direction. All the plane mirrors are capable of showing lateral inversion. So that is one of the important peculiarity of the plane mirror. Plane mirror ഏറ്റവും പ്രധാനപ്പെട്ട ഒരു പ്രത്യേകത എന്താണെന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ it is capable of showing lateral inversion. I'll tell you one more example of lateral inversion. നമ്മുടെ ഡെയിലി ലൈഫിൽ lateral inversion പ്രോപ്പർട്ടി യൂസ്ഫുൾ ആക്കി ഉപയോഗിക്കുന്നുണ്ട് പല സാഹചര്യങ്ങളിൽ. Okay, for example, can you look at this image? What did you see there? Yes, you can see an ambulance, isn't it? Did you notice the way of writing the name ambulance in that? Okay, what peculiarity you can see in the way of writing of that word ambulance? Yes, it is written in an inverted manner. അല്ലേ, ഒരു ഇൻവേർട്ടഡ് മാനറിലാണ് അത് എഴുതിയിരിക്കുന്നത്. യെസ്, എന്തിനായിരിക്കാം? Why? Because if it is writing in this manner, that means if it is writing in this laterally inverted manner, then it will be easy for the drivers, those who are moving in front of that vehicle, to read it properly through their rear view mirror. Understood? That means if you are writing this word ambulance in this manner, then only it is possible to read the word properly by the drivers of the vehicle that is moving in front of that particular vehicle. Understood? Hope you have understood. അതായത് ഇവിടെ നമ്മൾ ആംബുലൻസിനെ ഇൻവേർട്ടഡ് ആയിട്ട് എഴുതി കഴിഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ മുമ്പിൽ പോകുന്ന വെഹിക്കിൾസിലെ ഡ്രൈവേഴ്സിന് ഈ വേർഡിനെ വളരെ നന്നായിട്ട് ക്ലിയർ ആയിട്ട് പ്രോപ്പറായിട്ട് വായിക്കാനായിട്ട് പറ്റും. ഈ ഇമേജ് പ്ലെയിൻ മിററിൽ വീഴുന്ന സമയം, റെയർ വ്യൂ മിററിൽ വീഴുന്ന സമയം ഇറ്റ് ക്യാൻ ബി സീൻ ആസ് എ കംപ്ലീറ്റ് പ്രോപ്പർ വേർഡ്. ഓക്കെ, അണ്ടർസ്റ്റുഡ്? സോ ദിസ് ഇസ് വൺ ഓഫ് ദ ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻറ്റ് എക്സാമ്പിൾ ഓഫ് the application of lateral inversion property. So we have studied that plane mirror is capable of showing lateral inversion, isn't it? Lateral inversion is one of the important peculiarity of plane mirror. Okay, that means the images formed in a plane mirror will always be in a laterally inverted manner. Right? Okay, now let's study the other properties of images that is formed in a plane mirror. Okay, if you're keeping this chalk piece in front of a mirror, you can see the image of this chalk piece in that mirror. If you are comparing the size of this chalk piece with the image, you will understand one thing, that the size of the chalk piece will always be equal to the size of the image. That is, the size of the image will be always equal to the size of this original chalk piece. അതായത് നമ്മൾ ഇവിടെ കാണുന്ന ഒറിജിനൽ ചോക്ക് പീസിൻ്റെ സൈസ് എന്ത് തന്നെയാണോ ആ അതേ സൈസിൽ തന്നെയായിരിക്കും വി ക്യാൻ സീ ദ ഇമേജ് ഓൾസോ. Isn't it? I'll tell you once more. When we will keep a chalk piece in front of a mirror, you can see the image of the chalk piece in that mirror. If you are comparing the size of the original object with the image, you can see one thing, that the size of both the original object and the image will always similar. That is, here the size of the image will always be equal to the size of the chalk piece. Okay, that is, whenever image is forming in a plane mirror, at that time the size of the image which is forming in a plane mirror will always be equal to the size of the object which is there with you. If you are doing the same experiment with any object, you will get the same result. That is, instead of this chalk piece, if I am using this pen, then the image of this pen will be visible in front of the mirror. Then you just compare the size of this pen with the size of that image. You will understand one thing, that the size of the pen will be always similar to the size of the image. The size of both the image and the object will always equal in a plane mirror. In short, the size of the image which is formed in a plane mirror will always equal to the size of the original object. Okay, അതായത് നമ്മളിവിടെ ഒരു പെന്നാണ് ഒരു പ്ലെയിൻ മിററിൻ്റെ മുന്നിൽ കാണിക്കുന്നതെങ്കിൽ ആ പ്ലെയിൻ മിററിൽ ഫോം ചെയ്യുന്ന ഇമേജിൻ്റെ സൈസ് എപ്പോഴും ഇതിൻ്റെ ഒറിജിനൽ സൈസിന് തുല്യമായിരിക്കും. ഒബ്ജക്റ്റിൻ്റെ ഒറിജിനൽ സൈസിന് തുല്യമായിരിക്കും. ഓക്കെ, ഒരു ഒബ്ജക്റ്റിനെ ഒരു പ്ലെയിൻ മിററിൻ്റെ മുന്നിൽ കാണിച്ചു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ അപ്പോൾ ഫോം ചെയ്യുന്ന ഇമേജ്, പ്ലെയിൻ മിററിൽ ഫോം ചെയ്യുന്ന ഇമേജിൻ്റെ സൈസും ഷേപ്പും ഒറിജിനൽ ഓബ്ജക്റ്റിന് സിമിലർ ആയിരിക്കും, ഒറിജിനൽ ഓബ്ജക്റ്റിനെ പോലെ തന്നെ ആയിരിക്കും. അണ്ടർസ്റ്റുഡ്? Now let's move to the third property of the plane mirror. Okay, what is the third property? The distance between the object and mirror will be always equal to the distance between the image and the mirror. I'll tell this concept with the help of a picture, then only you will understand it clearly. For that, I will draw a surface. Just think that this is a surface and this is a mirror. Okay, I will mention this mirror with the help of the letter M, and this is an object. I will mention like, oh okay, this is object, so I put a name for that object with the help of the letter O, and here I can see the image of this object O. Okay, here I can see the image of the object O just behind the mirror. So I will put a letter for this image as I. Okay, I will call this image as I. Here I will say once more, I took a surface and I kept a plane mirror in the surface. Just in front of the plane mirror I kept an object, and normally what will happen, the image will form behind the mirror. Okay, here just think that the distance between object and mirror is x centimeter. If the distance between object and mirror is x centimeter, then the distance between the mirror and the image will also be x centimeter. Okay, this will also be x centimeter. I'll tell you once more. So what is that? I'll tell you once more. If the distance between object and mirror is x centimeter, then the distance between the mirror and image will also be x centimeter. This is the third peculiarity of the image formed in a plane mirror. Okay, in the plane mirror form ചെയ്യുന്ന ഇമേജിൻ്റെ പ്രത്യേകത, ഇമേജ് ജസ്റ്റ് ഇമാജിൻ ദാറ്റ് ഇമേജ് ഈസ് ഫോമിങ് ബിഹൈൻഡ് ദ മിറർ. നിങ്ങൾ ഇമാജിൻ ചെയ്യേണ്ട കാര്യം എന്താണെന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ ഇമേജ് ഫോം ചെയ്യുന്നത് മിററിൻ്റെ പുറകിലാണെന്ന് വിചാരിക്കുക. അങ്ങനെയാണെങ്കിൽ the distance between the object and mirror will be always equal to the distance between the mirror and image. ഇമേജിനും മിററിനും ഇടയിലുള്ള ദൂരം തന്നെ ആയിരിക്കും ഒബ്ജക്റ്റിനും മിററിനും ഇടയിലുള്ള ദൂരവും. Which are the properties? Yes, the images formed in a plane mirror will always undergo lateral inversion, isn't it? And the second peculiarity is size and shape of the image formed in a plane mirror will always be equal to the size and shape of the object. Okay, and third peculiarity is the distance between the mirror and the object will always be equal to the distance between the image and mirror. Okay, I'll tell you once more. The distance between the object and mirror will always be equal to the distance between the image and the mirror. Okay, these are the main things that we have studied today. I hope you have understood the topic well. If you have any doubt, please contact me. Stay safe.